Hey everyone, this is my Patreon proud reaction to the 24th episode of Black Lagoon. Also the final episode of the second season, but there's also the Roberta's Blood Trail, which I guess is after this, which I will also be reacting to, but as far as the main series, this is kind of the end of that. So, in the last episode, we pretty much have Yukio doing what she can to, get the Washimina clan back into a stable position. Not not having a lot of progress on that, but hey, the progress is being made, I suppose. They robbed the bank and blamed it on the Russians. That's something, right? Also, Rock made the mistake of pretty much lecturing Balalaika. Her name escaped me for a second. And even after she said, "Hey, Rock, you're my interpreter. You're not anyone else. Shut it." He didn't shut it. He pushed the issue. So if he got shot and killed there, he really had nobody to blame but himself. But luckily, he didn't go down that road, and everything just kind of settled. But that was a very tense few minutes there, just definitely. But yeah, this is the last episode, so hopefully this is really conclusive, and we get this entire arc is wrapped up nicely. So also, I hope to get some cool fighting. That's always something I kind of hope for with the series. But in any case, let's watch it. 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, no opening. That was actually a little bit weird. I'm so used to the opening always playing at the beginning. You're not running away, are you? Not sure what I would do without you. You're like a little bit of muscle I have left to protect me. Please don't leave. You just left. Taking on the city of villains is harder than you might think. You definitely have. Oh, he is still inside. Okay, never mind. uh, uh, well, I really don't know how this is gonna end for you, but don't get your hopes up too much, is all I'll say. Raku is somehow still alive. Someone who's not me. I mean, really, you could stay if you really wanted to. You were kind of in charge, right? Kosa. The one Japanese. He's supposed to be. I don't know where he is. Maybe he's out for a cheeseburger. Probably. Rock always is always looking dead inside. Yeah, but last time he said something, he kind of regretted that quickly. Probably. I doubt I was thinking of much else. Yeah, don't push your luck, Rock. Your body. I mean, what? No, I mean, Rebby's body. I mean, ish. You got closer. Okay. Bit of a change of what he said last time. Okay. For a second, I was going for some reverse psychology. But what if they kill her? I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't. She is part of the clan. You know, unless they kill her too. Oh wow, he didn't even flinch. Thank you. And that's very close to a kiss. Jeez. That English again. It's always weird being a native English speaker in these scenes. Having said that, I already understand being interpreted into a language I don't understand very well. You think I'll touch your hand? My hand's kind of full here. Her English isn't amazing, but it's not the worst I've heard in anime. I can understand it if I focus enough. Ooh, nice. Fancy. Oh, oblige, that's what she said. Somebody has to touch her hand. Or shoot her. But yeah, I think I misunderstood there, so it's fine. There wouldn't, no. Yeah, get wrecked. Do what you're told. Your gun? Don't ask me, I don't know. Okay, you have a lot of interpreting to do here. uh, like it was translated atrocious as you do. You trying to pick a fight here? Oh my god, we heard you the first time. Are they about to find out? Is it really that much of a deal breaker? Well, I guess negotiations are broken down there. I knew I shouldn't have walked this way. Without consent? Well, sucks to be him. Wow. Balalaika. There's an accident. They fell down some stairs. It's a horrible gun, so it's perfect for you. Okay. Okay. If you didn't want it, don't waste it. Oh, nobody invited you. So now what? Would you like to explain what happened here? What gunshots? I didn't hear anything. Imagine your imagination, guys. So you're saying it's already as good as destroyed? Well, she's not stupid, that's definitely true. Yep. Well, that's the most relevant place in the show, so it's less surprising for me. Get away from me. Well, she is, and that's the important thing here. Yeah. In other words, back off. Rebby. I think I saw Rebby here. Yep. Rock, jump on the back of my bike. We're out of here. Small fry. She's just being polite. She doesn't actually want you to visit. Well, maybe if you exercise more. We didn't witness, we heard, and that could have been from anyone. Yeah, indeed. So you have heard of us. She also has a couple nicknames, I think. Well, trust me, you know her face if you see it. Do we have to? I don't think we have to. Yeah, we kind of need to leave. She'll be fine, she's a big girl. Ouch. Jeez. That's one way to end the show. Just kill off Revy and Rock in a car accident. After all the gunfights they survived. Yeah, this is the girl you wanted to help. I hope you remember that. You just shot at him. That's not something you ask after shooting at someone. And she can barely handle that thing. Talk about a serious situation to have mixed feelings about. Well, I'd say you are now. Not gonna take over Ronapur. Most like his hope for is to not die there. Yeah, really don't know how much you expected to accomplish by selling to this rock. Well, when you put it like that, she sounds like a horrible person. Just limps into the middle of the road to hold up a truck. Wow, Revy. Can't say she's not a badass. I suppose. Reality is what you make of it. He really doesn't. Right now, I'm 50-50 on whether or not Ginji and Yukio will survive through this episode. Yay, we're going home. Home sweet home, question mark. Yeah, she's got it alright. And if it comes to a ramen fight, I think she has the advantage. I'm not sure how helpful your Sora will be in this fight. I'll take the wheel. This was a very intense game of chicken. Or 2 hands on his 1 sword, versus his 1 sword. You know Bondo is the one that attacked, right? Really can't blame Balaga too much for that. And I have been waiting for this fight, so I'm happy. Hopefully we actually do get a fight, and it's just not a tease. I know she's hoping that that Genji cuts one of her bullets in half. I'm sure that's one of the highlights that she's expecting here. Be careful not to get run over. Here we go. Now who wins? The one with 2 guns or the one with 1 sword? Here we go. Cut in half. I was kind of expecting her to, like, roundhouse kick him or something there. Her, not you. Huh. It's the first blood. As long as you're aware of that. Here we go. I think you're just getting serious. Round 2. Roll. I mean, doesn't need to throw away the katana. A shop. Oh, well, we're down 1 gun. Come on, Rebby, throw the gun at him or something. Then pick it up and throw it again. Well, more enjoyable than, you know, dying. Okay, that's a lot of blood. Hopefully it's Genji's. Okay, that's good. That's good to hear. Ah! Ugh. I think Revy won. Although that still has to hurt. Ouch. But it's not fatal. Rock, you might want to pull out real quick. So Rock did contribute to the fight. That's good to in here. Ugh. Oh no, you're not going to attack with that, are you? Of course, she keeps track. It is. Yeah, I kind of figured this is where this was going. I think it's too late for that. Well, Rock, we didn't get to see it, but Rock sure did. And she just stabbed it straight through. Yeah, you haven't been relevant for a while. Well, that is kind of how I figured it would end, more or less, for them. Never heard of him. Oh, apparently he has. I'm sure. Someone's been injured. A pile of them. Yeah, we should probably get going. And then the anime ends. Well, second season of the anime ends. Very different than the usual ED that we get. There's gonna be a lot of credits, aren't there? Preet's Head's Addiction by Breath Frequency. Yeah, I said it was a 50-50 chance of them surviving to the episode, but really I was definitely leaning on them dying, if I'm being honest. I didn't think Yukio would kill herself in the end, but I guess that makes sense. And Rock definitely looked the whole time, so... Oh, that was much older than I thought it would be, okay. Is it a love letter? What else do you need in life? An ex, wow. Wow, Balalaika. Our city, Ronapur. It was alright. It was nothing like my Japanese anime that I've watched. Of course. In other words, are you pregnant yet? Wow. That was an oddly cute response. uh, it depends on what you're watching, but so that was the 24th episode of Black Lagoon and the final episode of the second season, which is pretty much the final episode of the main series. We just have OVAs left now. And yeah, it was I mean it was a pretty good episode. More or less what I expected, to be honest. You know, beyond like the very end of it. I wasn't sure exactly what Genji and Yukio's fate would be in the end, but I can't say I'm too surprised about how it ended. But yeah, what I am surprised about is Balalaika kind of like giving up on, defeating the Washimina clan and a little betrayal there in that room. That was interesting. She just kept insulting the gun over and over again, and then just killed them pretty much after taking their weapons. Which, yeah, it's a good time to do it. Of course, that caused some the police forces outside to be like, hey, what's going on there? We saw gunfire. Is anything illegal happening in there? Should we arrest you guys? But, in the end, they couldn't really do much because they didn't really see anything. But eventually, some guy that was slow showed up and said, hey, no, they're definitely bad. You should go get them. But it was kind of too late at that point. Anyway, I was a bit surprised to hear Balalaika say that she was giving up on, finishing off the Washimana clan. She said something about how they're done for already. Now, the first thing that came to mind is, hey, maybe what Rock said finally got to her. And, maybe that's a little bit of it. But I think also part of it was Balalaika kind of figured this is how it would end for her. Like, she was gonna die, Genji was gonna die. I think she kind of figured that was gonna happen. I do think that was probably a bigger part of it, but it's hard to say for sure. Balalaika's a very complicated woman. It was cool seeing Rock and Revy on a motorcycle together, and then you just had Yukio just straight up ram into them, knock them both off of it. Luckily, they didn't die, although Revy definitely had some injured legs, which makes it even more impressive how she was able to fight Genji later in the episode. But yeah, they basically kidnapped Rock, they shot at him, said, hey Rock, you're coming with us, we have use for you as a shield or something, as a hostage, and then, yeah, they just packed him up there. Revy's like, no, don't take Rock from me. Rock, how could you be kidnapped by a high school girl? Don't you have any pride as a villain? But no, he got kidnapped. Luckily, Revy was able to steal her own vehicle. We chased after them, got a high-speed chase, a game of chicken. And they both left their vehicles, and we finally got our one-on-one fight between Revy and Genji, which has kind of been teased for a while. And we finally did get that. That was a fight to the death. Revy got to experience Genji chopping one of her bullets in half, so I'm sure that just made her day. And on top of that, she got to win the fight. Although barely. I think some Rock kind of contributed to that, and making Yukio say some things that had some emotional impact on him. I think that's what they kind of said there. And although Revy did definitely get penetrated by Genji, in the end, Revy did get the last laugh and got to kill him first. So, yeah, good thing Revy won, although she definitely needed some bandages after that. Yukio pretty much concluding that there's nowhere she can go from here. She just ended it all and took her own life, which I'm sure Rock didn't want to see that ending at all, because he tried his best to support this girl despite the fact that she says mean things to him and shoots at him and hits him with a vehicle. In spite of all that, he still was on her side. I guess because she was a teenage girl, I think that's all that really matters to Rock, it seems like. But yeah, in the end, no, things did not work out for her. It was pretty much as bad of an ending as you can get from her. But, things worked out for Hotel Moscow, and I guess that's all that really matters in the end. So, my thoughts on the season as a whole. Well, the first arc we got was the one with the, wasn't Russian, it was the silver-haired twins. I don't remember exactly where they were from. But that was the first arc we had with this season. And that was, maybe my favorite arc. I don't know, that was really good. They were very, very compelling as villains, definitely hateable. But at the same time, I definitely felt bad when at least one of them died. That was probably the saddest death in the entire anime, I would say. When she bonded with Rock, they were trying to help her out, and they dropped her off, and she seemed so happy, and then just got shot and killed. That was probably the hardest death in the entire series to watch. I'm not even gonna lie. But Balalaika had a lot of hatred because of the amount of the Russians that they killed, so you can't really blame her too much, really. But still, it was just a horrible situation all around, which is very, very true for this anime in general, where there's no good guys in this show. There's never been good guys in this show. It's always been, these are the villains that we want to win, these are the villains we don't. And hopefully the villains we kind of like win. That's really all this series has been. It's never been a fight between good and evil. That's not ever been this show has been about. So, yeah, you can never really look at it like that. But yeah, it was a pretty cool arc we got to see. Man, what was her name? The girl from the rip-off church. We got to see her do some cool stuff, so it was cool seeing more of her. Oh, and Mr. Chang, I think that was also the arc we got to see some pretty cool fighting from him, like back-to-back with Revy. I think that was the arc where we got to see that. But then in any case, it was this season, so that was really cool. Mr. Chang's a pretty cool character. I wouldn't mind getting to see more of him, really, because he's pretty cool. Kind of repeat myself there, but, you know what I mean. Now, the next arc was about Jane, the counterfeit enthusiast. Now, probably not my number one favorite arc or anything, but I did like this one probably because we got to see a lot of the mercenaries of Ronapur, like, fight against Revy, so that was pretty cool. Like, I don't know, I just like that, just like all these mercenaries and stuff in Ronapur, they know each other, they all have their reputations. And they're like, hey, Revi, she's pretty serious business, man. If we're going after her, we better getting paid well for this. I did kind of like that, especially Shenhua, I think her name is. She is one of my favorite non-main characters. So we got to see her fighting with them as well. Like seeing her on opposite sides of Revi was cool. That's probably like the best part of that. But it was also just cool seeing the various mercenaries with different fighting styles. Like I think one of them had a flamethrower or something. Just all sorts of cool stuff like that. And the one guy that was given like a long-winded monologue or something, and they just kind of shoot him. That was funny as well. That arc definitely had a lot of cool shots as well, especially a lot of panty shots with Jane for some reason. I don't know why they had such a weird concentration of panty shots there and like nowhere else in the series. That was always a little bit weird, but I mean it was fine. Another cool thing about that arc is that Benny actually got a little time to shine. He got a girl of his own, Jane. So that's good for him. They obviously are a good match. So hopefully they get married at some point. Maybe move to a slightly less villain-filled place. Maybe like when he decides to retire. If he is one of the lucky few that actually does get to make it to retiring age, that lives there, we can hope, right? I believe this was also the arc you found out the Edda was like with the CIA or something undercover. We found out something like that. I don't think that ever actually came up again in the series. So, I guess that's a thing. I kind of expected it to come up in some capacity, but no, it did not. And the next and final arc in the season was the whole Japan adventure thing, which I think, I think that really was the longest arc in the entire season. Possibly, I don't know. I had to look at it, but definitely felt like one of the longer ones. So yeah, this was interesting because obviously Rock was from Japan. He left that life for his new life. Basically acting like his old life is dead. There's no going back to it. And throughout this entire arc, pretty much Rock really had to come to terms with where his life has went, because he's never fully committed to his new life. That was really brought up, like made obvious by Yukio's conversation with him. He still needs to accept a lot. She's talked about how he was still in the twilight. He never really fully committed, but just kind of acts like he can't go back, but he still wants that back door open in case he ever wants to run away. Like, that's kind of what she was talking about. And I don't think, even now, I don't think he's still hasn't really fully committed to that yet. So I think he did say how he's still in the twilight, but he can do what he wants. I'm not his mother. It was just interesting because obviously Rock is very familiar with Japan and Rebi is not, so the roles were reversed. So Rock can actually say, "Hey, Rebi, this is that thing in Japan. This is that thing in Japan. Isn't that cool?" Stuff like that, showing her about all this Japanese culture and stuff. Which and Rebi, of course, had really brought it to her that the fact that she very much, this isn't the kind of life that she's lived. She's lived a very different life, let's just say. So seeing a very peaceful place like Japan, one of the most peaceful countries there are, really, it's obviously a bit of a culture shock for her, I guess. I would imagine. Of course, she gets in fights with like stalls and stuff and random people and just cusses at them in English, which was hilarious. But yeah, overall, it was really fun watching her like just interact in this new environment. The big conflict of the arc was the Kosa clan versus the Iwachan clan. And the Iwachan clan was trying to enlist the help of the Russians, Hotel Moscow, which they ended up regretting a lot, because all that really resulted in was a lot of death on both sides, and nobody was really happy in the end. Like, nobody in Japan was happy about Hotel Moscow going there. I think that's safe to say. It was an objectively bad thing for Hotel Moscow to have entered this conflict. Well, I mean, I guess if you think about it, I guess people that don't like any criminal organizations probably went out because it was pretty much criminal organizations that were taking hits, but even then, they're just new clans that pop up, I'm sure. Anyway, it was a very bloody thing. The final arc might have been my least favorite of the season, just because it definitely had at least a couple episodes that felt really slow. The conflict between the Kosa clan and the Iwachan clan, I never really cared that much about it, really. Like, these are two groups of people that I've, not familiar with at all. And am I really supposed to take a side here? Because I don't really care. I mean, if I was going to take a side, it would be Yukio's, because she's a cute girl. And I'm kind of with Rock in that regard, but really I did not care too much about this conflict, at least for a nice chunk of the arc. Of course, after a while, having spent more time with Yukio and Genji and stuff, I did start to root with them more than obviously the Kosa clan, but still, I knew, in the back of my mind, I definitely knew that this wasn't going to end well for either of the clans, and still, at the end of the day, Hotel Moscow, Revi, Black Lagoon, these are the people that are really the main characters, so I'm always really gonna root for them for the most part, even when they're objectively in the wrong with situations. That's just kind of how my mind works. So I don't know. I never really cared that much about a lot of the the conversations you had between characters I didn't know very well. Like Ginji, before we saw a lot of Ginji, we had him talking with other people we didn't know very well about this deep-seated conflict there, and I just did not care very much, really. So because of that, I kind of have mixed feelings about the arc, but it definitely had its cool parts. Definitely, there's no question about that. And the arc definitely did a lot for characters like Revi and Rock, and I get maybe even Balalaika a little bit. I don't know. Like I like to believe that Rock confronting like that had at least a little bit of effect on her. I know it's probably just wishful thinking, but you know, I think something happened there. I did quite like that the setting was Japan, just because most anime do have Japan as a setting. This anime doesn't really, because Runapur was kind of the main location where all of our main characters live. So it was interesting seeing a less than typical anime like shift over to an area where most anime take place. That is something that I actually got quite a kick out of. So that might have been one of my favorite things about this arc. But anyway, yeah, that was pretty much the second season. I liked it quite a bit for the most part, I would say. I don't know if I'd put it above or below season 1. I don't really remember season 1 that well, but I do know season 1 definitely had its slow parts, like the one submarine thing. The submarine backstory that I didn't care much for either. But I don't know, it definitely was not a bad season. I definitely would not say it was a bad season. I'd say yeah, I'd probably put them about on the same level. And I do like Black Lagoon in general. Definitely a pretty cool show with very interesting characters and cool fight scenes. And just, yeah, that's probably about all I have to say on it. Time to get on to Roberta's Blood Trail, which is cool because I like Roberta a lot as a character as well, who definitely did not get enough screen time, so I am looking forward to that. Thank you for watching, and thank you Cnouki, the Dragon of Oshu, as well as everyone else, for doing what you can to support the channel. It means a lot to me, and I hope we can continue to grow the channel together. If you want to do more to support the channel, then you can become a patron on my Patreon and get cool rewards like early access to certain videos. Have a good one.